Hey everybody, Dave Lindberg with a new episode of THD podcast. Today we're going to be talking with Steve Temme. He's the founder of Listen Inc. It's been one of the world's leading test and measurement companies for some time, based out of Boston. We're going to find out a bit about him, where he came from. He worked at B&K, he worked at Apogee Acoustics before, and he wants to talk to us today about correlating manufacturing defects to perception. So kind of like in a visual world, you'd say, is that a blemish on the product? So we're going to say, is that really an error acoustically in the product from what you're measuring to what people are actually hearing? So, but without delay, let's not forget to thank our sponsor, the Alti Association. They're going to be hosting some stuff at CES, so be sure to check them out. Alti is a great networking forum for people working in the audio manufacturing industry, so we encourage people to go check them out. All right, without delay, we've got Simon in Japan. Morning, Simon.
Evening.
And we
Morning
got
and evening.
Steve Temme in Boston area. So thanks for joining us today, Steve. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. All right. So yeah, you
Better than
started
good.
Listen back in '95 in Soundcheck, and it was a software product, and it was the first audio measurement system based on a sound card. So can you tell us a little bit about what predicated that initiative and where the idea came from?
Sure. First, I just want to thank Dave, you and Simon for having me on your podcast. But yeah, I'd love to tell you a little bit about the history of Listen and Soundcheck. So I worked for Denmark, for Bro and Care in Denmark for many years, traveling around the world to demonstrate their industry standard 2012 audio analyzer. Actually, you can't really see it, but there's one standing back here that's vintage, which I haven't turned on probably in 5 years now. But engineers liked it because it was so powerful, but they really also wanted something to use on the production line. And I had an interesting visit in Japan where they actually wanted to synchronize 6 of them to measure 6 off-axis measurements on a loudspeaker at a time. And of course, the B&K engineers were like, what? That's crazy. So in any case, it was just too slow and too expensive for a lot of applications, especially QC. And Windows 95 had just been released. And Pro Audio sound cards were also on the scene and becoming very good, very high quality, and very cost effective. So naturally, I tried to convince B&K to develop a lower cost alternative for the production test market, but they were not interested. So I ended up quitting my job at B&K, moved back to the States, and started my own company. And I developed Soundcheck based on just LabVIEW, which was already well known for coining the term virtual instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wanted to recreate the 2012 audio analyzer and some of the other B&K analyzers and software, but I wanted to make it faster, less expensive, and more flexible.
Okay. And always the key thing with any startup business is getting that first customer over the line. Do you remember who that was?
Absolutely. And they're still a customer. So the company name is Sonotronics in New Jersey. They made military headsets, and they actually hired me to write B&K 2012, what were called auto sequences, to test their military headsets to mil standards. Ironically, the first day I met the owner of the company, he asked me if I could have done this with a PC and a sound card. And of course, I said, yeah, it's funny, I've been thinking about doing that. And he said, well, if you can come up with one of these systems at a lower cost, I will be happy to buy 11 of them. So it was actually a great challenge. And I taught myself LabVIEW and prototyped a headset test system in 6 months. So it was really quite a testimony to LabVIEW because I was not a programmer by training.
Okay. Yeah, it's always nice to get that first one over the line, especially as a startup. You've got maybe